Hello my friends, how are you? Hope you all are doing well. So I'm back today, and what I want to talk about is healing and balancing your chakras with crystals. I was inspired to make this video by my husband. He thought that I should make a video about crystals because we've been using them for years and I've been wearing them for years. And I was also inspired because we went to a crystal shop. It was called Gypsy Crystals in Orlando. It's about an hour away from us, but it was worth the drive. The last shop we went to like that together was in Miami, Flossie's. It was downtown, and it ended up closing down, so we didn't get, rack up on any things before we moved. But we found a store, and it was, like I said, it's an hour away, but it was definitely worth it to go. So another thing that inspired me is when I went to this store, my husband wanted to get some sage, some incense and candles and stuff, but I was interested in getting some crystals for the solar plexus and for the heart chakra. That's really what I went for those specific crystals. But when I went, I got those, and then I was walking around looking at other stones and other crystals and everything, and I was like guided to these two particular crystals that I wanted. I really liked them, and you know how you can go somewhere and you see something nice and you can take it or leave it, but I just had to have one of these. So I got these two specific crystals, and then like a couple of days later, my husband went back and got me this book called The Crystal Bible. It has like over 200 crystals in it and the information on the benefits of it and everything. So when I looked up those two crystals that I got from the store, I was blown away because they had everything to do with what is going on with me right now. And so basically I was guided towards a couple of crystals that I actually need, and I really thought that that was like so cool that, and I suggest that you try it. Find a crystal shop, go in there, walk around, look at some crystals. If you see a couple of something that you really like and it's like, oh, I really like that one, I want that one, when you get it, find out what the name of it is, look it up, and you will be amazed to find out that it's probably something that you need, or something that you've been thinking about, something that you actually need help with right now in your life. So that was just mind-blowing. I'm gonna get into those specific crystals later, but right now I want to go through each of the chakras. I brought a lot of my crystals here with me today. We have like a whole dish full of them. We have a lot, but what I did was I brought two crystals for each chakra just to show you some of the ones I have and what I feel like has worked for me. And I want to go through each one of those. But before I start, I just want to say that, for many years, I've worn these crystals and we've collected these crystals. And I really didn't even know that these crystals were opening my chakras and balancing my chakras. Maybe I didn't know that because I didn't know much about crystals. And I didn't know much about the chakras. I just knew some things about it. It wasn't until this year that I realized I was going through a Kundalini awakening that I when I learned what Kundalini is, then I realized how it is associated with the chakras, which was wonderful to know because, like I said, I didn't know anything about that. And so now I realize that there's specific crystals that I really like and certain ones I would wear all the time. And I feel like those chakras, for me, are more open or balanced than others, which is like just really like mind-blowing to figure out after all these years. Also, I just want to say that a lot of us need healing. And if you're anything like me, you've always tried to be kind of tough. So you kind of feel like you don't really need healing, or you're over a lot of the things that have happened in your life. That's how I always have been. I've kind of like, but there's a difference between burying certain issues of yours, kind of like pushing them to the side, ignoring them, and actually healing and releasing and accepting those issues and those things that have been a part of your life. My mom died when I was 2 years old, and over the years, whenever I would speak to somebody about that and I say my mom died when I was 2, when people go like, oh, I'd be like, well, I was 2, so I don't really remember her at all. I have no memories of her, so it's not a big deal. That's how I would always deal with when people go, oh, when I tell them that. My oldest brothers, one was 15, one was 12, and my sister was 5. I have 3 younger brothers, but they actually have a different mother. But my mother who passed away, my 2 older brothers, and my sister, my sister have a little memories, but my brothers, they were teenagers. So I always felt like I really sympathized with them. I feel like they remember her, and so it really affected them way more than it affected me, because I don't remember her at all because I was only 2. But what I realize is I may be more hurt about that than I really think. And I really thought that I wasn't. And it wasn't until now that I'm going through this awakening that now when I talk to somebody and I say my mom passed away when I was 2, and they say like, oh, I realize that when I try to say that same thing I always said, well, I don't remember her. I was only 2, so, it's not that bad for me. I realize that when I try to say that, I almost get a little teary sometimes. Like I really don't really mean that. I'm starting to realize that I'm more hurt by that than I really thought I was. Always trying to be tough. I'm realizing that I was a very lonely little girl. And even though I had my dad passed away when I was in my late 20s. But having him as a young girl, my dad is an older guy, old school. He's from Trinidad, so he wasn't raised in a very affectionate way. So he wasn't very affectionate with me, but he loved me. I already know he did. But he did tell me certain things as I got older, and I would ask him questions about my mom and stuff like that. He did tell me some things, but I realized that I was really a lonely little girel. When I think back now going through this awakening, I realized that I always knew somebody was there. Like I always felt like I wasn't alone in a way, but yet I do feel like I was alone, because as a little girl, you don't know much about the spiritual world and things like that. So if you don't physically have someone there, then you may feel lonely. I think I had my imaginary friends or whatever, things like that when I was little, but I believe my angels were always there, whether it's my mom, my ancestors, whoever. I always feel like I had someone there. Now I do. But at the time, I really feel like I was a lonely girl. So I think I have a lot of deep healing that needs to be done. Due to that, and me and my husband, we actually have decided we're going to do something a little bit more intense when it comes down to like a healing session, and I'll get into that later. But what I want to do is just get into the chakras right now. So first, the first chakra, the root chakra, Muladhara. I have 2 crystals I bought here. Black tourmaline. This is a big piece that I have in the house. I also have some small pieces, and this is bloodstone, which it's like a dark green stone, and it has like little specks of red. I don't know if you can see it. And these 2 stones are to balance and open the root chakra. And we've had these for years. The bloodstone I would wear every now and again, but the tourmaline, as a massage therapist, the black tourmaline, I would have a bunch of small pieces at home, so I would sometimes carry a couple of those pieces in my pocket, because I feel like, touching people, all the energy and how, it kind of can affect you working on people and touching people all day long. So I would use those, the black tourmaline, for protection. So for years I've used that, so I do feel like my root chakra is okay. I feel like it's even if it may not be, it may be a little imbalanced, I feel like it is, I'm pretty grounded. Now, next to the second chakra, Swadhisthana, and the sacral chakra, stones for the sacral chakra are tiger's eye. Here's a piece of tiger's eye that I have. Also amber. And interesting, my husband from the crystal shop, he bought blue tiger's eye, which is, I think it's really pretty. It's a nice stone. And it's actually called hawk's eye as well. So I guess he got that because I'm always seeing hawks all the time. So he kind of picked that one out. But for the sacral chakra, those are stones for the sacral chakra. For me, I would actually wear tiger's eye quite a bit, because with the little bit of information that I knew about stones, I felt like the tiger's eye was like a good luck stone, brings money, stuff like that. So I used to wear tiger's eye quite a bit, quite often. And then amazingly, amber. In my 20s, I was kind of obsessed with amber. I didn't know anything about the healing properties or anything to do with the chakras of amber. And I remember I had this very solid silver necklace with a big chunk of amber on it that I used to wear all the time. I had at least 3 or 4 amber rings I was like really into when I used to wear little amber studs. So I wore amber quite a bit, and I do feel like my sacral chakra is pretty much balanced. I do feel that way. The next chakra is the solar plexus chakra, Manipura, and the color for that one is yellow. Believe it or not, we have yellow citrine that we've had in the house for years in the whole collection of crystals. That's yellow citrine. And yellow jasper, we just got this one. But I also had a little small piece of yellow jasper in the house, and I never wear these. I would never wear the yellow crystals. I don't know why. It was just certain ones that I like more than others. And I do feel like my solar plexus, like when you look at the imbalances of each chakra, I do feel like I need work in the solar plexus area. And interesting enough, I would never wear that stone. I never used to wear that. And the same thing for the heart chakra. For the heart chakra, that's what I actually went to the crystal store to get, the yellow jasper and green citrine. This is a raw piece of green citrine. I also have a piece here in my necklace. This is green citrine. And this is a raw piece. And also rose quartz for the heart chakra. It's a pink stone or crystal. So the heart, I really feel like I have a lot of healing and things that's going on in there that I need to work on, and I never would wear these crystals. I never wore, we had some more green ones. I even think I have a little piece of jade at the house. I never wore green. I never wore the green stones. And interestingly enough, like I said, I feel like I need some healing here. So that's why I'm now starting to wear my yellow and green crystals or more than I used to. Next, we have the throat chakra, Vishuddha, and the color for the throat chakra is blue. My husband got this one. It's lace blue agate. It's really pretty. He got that one. And here's one of the stones that I was drawn to, which I didn't know the benefits of them. I'm gonna get into that in a minute, which is mind-blowing to me. And this is blue apatite. This one I was drawn to, and I even have a piece here in the necklace, in the cage there. I actually, once I learned the benefits of it after reading it in the Crystal Bible, I went back and got a raw piece of blue apatite. This is a piece here that I went back to the store and got. And I was drawn to that. I was actually drawn to the smooth one. For some reason, I just really thought it was pretty. It's almost like this really dark teal color and little specks of white. And it's just really pretty. I thought it was nice. Next is the third eye chakra, the Ajna chakra, the brow chakra. And the color for it is indigo. For that, I have lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli. You can see it. It's a pretty stone. I would wear this sometimes, but what I would wear more than that is amethyst. That's another one for the third eye. And this is a raw piece of amethyst. And these, like the amethyst, I wore for years, a lot. Like I wear this a lot. I even have, like, now moving on to the crown chakra, Sahasrara, which the color for that is purple. And here's a bigger piece of amethyst. This is the one I would wear all the time because it has like the little hook on it where you can put it in your necklace. It's a raw piece as well. And I wore this a lot. And my favorite of all stones is my clear quartz, which is also for the crown chakra. I love this one, maybe because it's shaped like a pyramid. I don't know. We also have a little small one like it as well. And this is one, I wore this more than anything else. This and amethyst. These two are the stones that I would always wear, all the time. And interestingly enough, not like that's all the chakras. But interestingly enough, when I went to get that chakra balancing massage, that healing session with the lady that did I thought something was behind me. I did that. When I went and got that from her, she actually asked me if I see faces or if I hear voices, because she feels like I was very open around the third eye, around the ear. She said my crown was very open. She thought I was like clairaudient, or I had clairvoyance or something. And you know, I've had visions, which I've mentioned before in my Kundalini videos. I've had certain visions when I'm like in between dozing off, where I've had a vision of the butterfly and I know I wasn't sleeping, and then a vision of the sky, which kind of like scared me because my eyes were open. It kind of freaked me out. But I've had those visions, but it's not during the day. It's only been when I'm almost falling asleep, like I'm at this very relaxed state. But interestingly, like I said, she feels like I'm very open in that area. And I've worn those crystals like more than anything else. I would put this raw piece of amethyst in my cage here. I wore it all the time, as well as the clear quartz all the time. I wore these more than any crystal that I ever worn. And I'm supposedly, as far as she told me, very open, the crown and the third eye. And I feel like my blockages are in the middle, kind of like a little bit with the throat, the heart, and the solar plexus. But it's no coincidence that she felt like I was very open up here, but I wear those stones for years more than anything else. So that's very interesting. Now, getting back to what got the interesting thing about these stones that I was guided to, the ones that pretty much I was drawn to these stones. The blue apatite, which I went back to get this one, but this is the one that I was drawn to. Once I looked up the benefits of the blue apatite, and I wrote it down just so I don't forget anything. It says here, blue apatite, and I didn't know anything about this before I got it. Blue apatite promotes humanitarian attitude, inclining towards service, which is pretty much kind of like what I'm doing here, right? On YouTube. Connects to past lives, develops psychic gifts, deepens meditation, and raises the Kundalini. I didn't know that. I didn't know anything about blue apatite, but I was drawn to it, and it just so happens that it has everything to do with what's been going on with me with this whole awakening, and that just blew my mind. The next one that I was drawn to is sardonyx. Black sardonyx is the name of it. Now, the benefits of black sardonyx is that it brings lasting happiness and stability to marriages and partnerships. So I was drawn to that. Now, the funny thing is, the day before we went to get these crystals from the shop, me and my husband, we were having a conversation because I felt like his energy was a little off, and I was just, had to sit down with him and talk to him. And he's been probably a little concerned about me because of how much I've been changing through this whole awakening. All the things that I used to do, I'm not doing anymore. I'm not on social media, the Instagram and Facebook. I don't work out like I used to. Just sitting around, reading stuff, looking up stuff, and watching movies, all weekend. And so he felt a little concerned, and it kind of like made him feel a little off. And so we had a conversation about that. We, really came to a really good place and understanding what we need to do, what I need to do for him, what he needs to do for me. And so we had a nice conversation about that the day before we went to go check out these crystals. And I was drawn to something that benefits us. And I just thought that was pretty cool. That's just pretty dope to me. So aside from that, what he and I have decided that we're going to do is we are going to take an ayahuasca retreat. We're going to go on one. We're looking into ones in Peru. If one of my co-workers were telling me about it. If you have any information on it, send me a message, let me know. But we decided we're going to do it. I always been scared at the thought of doing it from the things I've heard, but he wants to do it. Out of nowhere he said that, so I'm just like, okay, now I think I'm okay with doing it. Since I'll be with him, I feel safe now at the idea of doing it. So that's what we're looking into now. We're going to try to go to Peru because that's where I hear the best places are to go. But we're setting that up, and I feel like that is probably going to really help me with all of the healing, the issues, the past issues, things that I just don't even know that I'm holding on to, or I don't really know how to release, how to let go, how to heal from them. So maybe I need a little push. So we're looking into doing that. And like I said, if you got any information on it, you know anything about it, any of you out there, send me some information about it. I'm willing to hear anything you got to say. So that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. Once again, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share my video if you wish. And until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching again. Bye-bye.